Night 3 of the DNC, and Democrats are leaning into protecting personal freedom. Some Skyler Henry in Chicago, where Governor Tim Walz formally accepts his party's VP nomination.
Plus, a wellness check turns violent for two police officers in Galena, Kansas. And PSU students now have access to free online mental health counseling.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, the Democratic nominee for vice president, takes center stage at the Democratic National Convention tonight. This is the late edition of KOAM News. I'm Dow Quick. Earlier on this third night of the convention, some Democratic heavyweights and Hollywood A-listers showed up to pledge their support to both Walz and Vice President Kamala Harris. Skyler Henry has the latest from Chicago.
Good evening, everybody!
Oprah Winfrey made a surprise appearance on night 3 of the Democratic National Convention, pledging her full support to Vice President Kamala Harris and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz.
Let us choose freedom. Why? Because that's the best of America. We're all Americans, and together, let's all choose Kamala Harris.
Former President Bill Clinton also spoke.
If you can get them elected and let them bring in this breath of fresh air, you will be proud of it for the rest of your life. Your children will be proud of it.
Minnesota Governor Tim Walz is tonight's keynote speaker, and he will formally accept the nomination as Vice President Kamala Harris's running mate. Tonight is considered Governor Walz's debut on a national stage. He was a relative unknown about a month ago, but a new CBS News poll finds that some 60% of Democratic voters say they're enthusiastic about it. Walz is planning to highlight his upbringing in a small Nebraska town, his service in the Army National Guard, and his work as a high school teacher and football coach, work that eventually led to Congress and the state capitol. Earlier, Stevie Wonder fired up the crowd.
Can I live with the side that I chose to be on?
And country music star Maren Morris performed. But the night was punctuated by some serious topics, including reproductive freedoms, and an emotional appearance from Rachel Goldberg and John Poland. Their son Hirsch was captured by Hamas on October 7th, one of 8 Americans. Skyler Henry, CBS News, Chicago.
Tomorrow night, Kamala Harris will formally accept her party's nomination for president. 2 police officers are injured when a well-being check escalated in Galena, Kansas. Authorities responded to the call this afternoon at a home at 11th and Main. When the officers made contact with the man, they discovered he had a warrant. They say before they could detain him, he attacked both officers, cut one with a piece of glass. Injuries to the officers were not life-threatening. They say the man then retreated toward the back of the house, which was surrounded by shrubbery, trees, and junk. Authorities used a backhoe to knock down the fence and clear a path to the back door. 5 officers entered that house after using gas and found the man in a back bedroom where he was taken into custody. We've enjoyed a nice day out there. Let's check in with Chief Meteorologist Doug Heddy.
Well, definitely turned out to be another spectacular day for us today. All week long, we've had just amazing temperatures, below average. The humidity has been low. No exception today. 85 is where we topped out. 90 is our average high. Record 102 set back in 2003. Look at our temperatures now. We're kind of hovering 70 to just a little bit above. We're going to drop back. Lower 60s once again tonight. Clear skies, not a whole bunch going on. We're going to stay nice and calm as we go through the overnight hours for us tonight. But our temperatures slowly start to warm up as we go through the next few days. Now on your Thursday, still looks pretty good. Mid 80s across the region. But by Friday, you can see that heat starting to return. Lower 90s return. We have triple digits back to our south and to our west. So this means it's going to start to get hotter as we head into the weekend. Also some rain chances. We're going to look at that here in just a bit.
See you soon. Community members and school officials in McDonald County, Missouri cut the ribbon on a brand spanking new storm shelter at the Rocky Comfort Elementary School today. That newly completed storm shelter, which will also serve as a multi-purpose room, is rated to withstand an F5 tornado, providing a safe space for students, teachers, and staff. The facility is the only public storm shelter in this part of McDonald County.
Well, not only are we here to educate students, but it's pretty important that we keep them safe. So if we ever have an issue that we need to go to the storm shelter during a school day, we can do that at any time. We're protecting our students, we're protecting our staff, as well as our community.
The new storm shelter is part of a $21.5 million bond issue passed by McDonald County voters that includes storm shelter construction at 5 other schools across the district. Pitt State students will have access to free 24/7 online mental health counseling for the very first time this year. KOIM's Melissa Alexis has more on how this benefits students.
It's right at your fingertips and available 24/7.
Jack Banman is a first-year student at Pitt State University that knows how the first time away from your support system and home can take some adjusting.
If you haven't met your people yet, it might be hard to, you might wake up at night or you might not be able to sleep because you're just stressed out and you don't have anyone to talk to. You might need someone to help you through things, and just someone to talk to can be good. And having that 24/7 is a good thing for students and a good resource.
Anna Cisneros is a senior that remembers how Pitt State's mental health services benefited her when she was a sophomore struggling with stress management.
I was too stressed with classes because my major is construction, so it's like a lot of math, and I wasn't too confident in myself and doing really good with those classes.
Taylor Panzer, the Wellness and Student Advocate Services Coordinator at Pitt State, says this 24/7 online mental health service is especially helpful for students that have busy schedules and limited free time. All students would have to do is access their TELUS app.
They have 5 minutes, they can't get to a therapy appointment, or that's later in the day and they have this big exam, they can quickly go online and chat with someone.
One of the benefits of the online mental health service is that it's offered in Mandarin, Spanish, English, and more, which breaks down barriers for more students, including international students. Reporting in Pittsburgh, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Through this service, students can choose phone, video, or chat to speak with a counselor. Missouri Southern State University hosted a community fair this afternoon. Students and non-students got the opportunity to meet, greet, and build relationships with potential employers during and after their college experience. Healthcare operations, insurance companies, and military recruitment operations were there.
If you haven't met your people yet, it might be hard to, you might wake up at night or you might not be able to sleep because you're just stressed out and you don't have anyone to talk to. You might need someone to help you through things, and just someone to talk to can be good. And having that 24/7 is a good thing for students and a good resource.
Students got feedback from the business owners and a chance to build relationships with potential employers. Want to know how the Kansas City Chiefs preseason is going? Well, John Dale sat down with the voice of the Chiefs to get a preview. That's coming up later in sports. But up first, Governor Parson heads to Southwest Missouri for a signing ceremony before a group of community members and students.
Brings you.
Missouri Governor Mike Parson stopped in McDonald County today for a ceremonial signing of legislation that modifies permit requirements and exemptions related to Missouri fertilizer and clean water laws. For community members in McDonald and Newton County, the issue hits really close to home. KOAM Samantha Walker has more on the importance of the bill in Southwest Missouri.
House Bill 2134/1956 may sound like any other bill that goes through the Missouri legislature. But for residents in McDonald and Newton County, like farmer Adam Perryman, it's a step in the right direction.
Just the crowd that's here today shows what significance and how much it matters to the people in the community. I mean, it's not a well-known thing other than if you smelled it. And the smell really has nothing to do with the problem.
The bill modifies permit requirements and exemptions related to Missouri fertilizer and clean water laws. These bills are of special interest to community members who've expressed concerns about wastewater storage basins, also known as lagoons, in the area. Concerns have been raised for years about the potential impacts of these sites, but they came to a head after a storage basin company spilled more than 6,000 gallons of sludge in October of last year.
We don't want this to end up in the water, or any of the minerals that can't, the heavy metals, the chemicals that can't be absorbed by dirt, taken up by plants or crops. If that stays around, I mean, that can have detrimental effects for years upon years, if not ever.
Area representatives like Dirk Deaton have been working on potential regulations for these lagoons for years. He says it's an exciting moment to finally see action being taken on a state level.
This bill protecting property rights and the water resources of the state from misapplication, over-application of certain waste streams really originated right here in McDonald and Newton counties in southwest Missouri. And so we're doing it for the people, and so it's great that the governor would come down here and sign it, kind of where it really all began.
Several local groups formed out of concerns surrounding the sludge. One such group is the Stop Land Use Damaging Our Ground and Environment, also known as Sludge, which Perryman is a part of. He says while the signing of the bill is a huge step in the right direction, the work is not done.
We're just now getting started, really. I mean, anybody that's ever worked with an attorney before knows that those bills, they don't stop. We need support from everybody. We need your voices. Please be encouraged to learn, find out what it is.
Reporting in McDonald County, Samantha Walker, KOAM News.
Despite the legislation passing, organizations like Sludge are remaining active to continue monitoring water safety in the community and bring attention to their concerns. During the bill's signing, a group of McDonald County students got a front row seat to witness the event. For Jonathan Holes and his government class, the event represents more than just a field trip. It's a living lesson. He says many of his students might never have another opportunity to witness a bill signing in person.
I found it interesting just getting to, I've never really seen much of the governor and stuff, so I just found it interesting, like hearing his stories that he comes from a town like this and just seeing how down to earth he was.
That group of diverse students featured members of the high school marching band, cheerleaders, FFA members, JAG members, and students from Pineville Elementary and Pineville Primary Schools. A little bit later, a brother and sister in Oklahoma turned their business profits into community benefits.
At Menard.
Well, of course, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Temperatures fantastic across the region. Really, we've had a pretty good stretch over the past several days. Nice shot of our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam. We're looking at downtown Joplin, off toward the northeast through downtown. Looks pretty good for us at this point in time. It's going to be pretty calm as we go through the overnight hours tonight. Lower 70s across the board, very comfortable. We'll drop back. Lower 60s once again later on tonight. Plus, look at our dew points. So these are in a degree fashion, and it measures how much humidity is out there. Now, when these climb above 70 in the summer months, it gets very sticky. You get into that muggy to soupy range, but we're sitting in that pleasant to not bad. And that's where we're going to be once again as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. 73 right now, east, northeasterly winds at about 5 to 10. And let's look at our temperatures over the next couple days because we start a slow warming trend. Partly cloudy skies, lower 60s to start. There could be a random sprinkle out there as we go through the daytime hours tomorrow. Upper 70s by noon. Most of us will top out mid 80s once again. Very similar to what we did see today. Tomorrow night, clear skies, back into lower 60s once again. As we go into Friday afternoon, a little bit hotter. Most of us are going to top out right around 90 or 91 degrees. Not hot, but right about where we should be for this time of the year. Day planner on Thursday, 61, 78 by noon, 83 by 4, high temp of 85 degrees. So another great day. That's what we made it up to today. We have clear skies. Nothing is going on across the entire Central Plains. We're still watching big dome of high pressure kind of shoving its way back toward the south and to the west, and around it we get these little waves that rotate through, keeping us at least with chances for occasional showers and thunderstorms, which we are going to see by the weekend. Here's Friday night, band rolls through, Then a hot Saturday, partly sunny skies, mid-90s. Another band of showers and thunderstorms Saturday night into Sunday morning. And then again, hot and humid once we get into the afternoon, partly sunny skies. Let's look at Monday. Morning thunderstorms, and then again, partly sunny skies, hot and humid, mid-90s once we get into the afternoon. So with those rounds over the weekend, we'll have to see where those heavier bands set up. Looks like the heaviest will be central eastern Missouri, but a lot of us could pick up a quarter, half an inch, maybe a little bit more than that, which, hey, would be perfectly fine. We do kind of dry out on Tuesday, hot, Wednesday, hot, but once we get into Thursday and Friday, we get a cold front that starts to advance in. So this is going to give us better chances for rain late next week. But the big key here, it's also going to cool us down a bit as we head into the holiday weekend, because not this weekend, but next weekend is Labor Day weekend. 85 on your Thursday again. Could get a few sprinkles, maybe a random shower. 91 on Friday. Mid-90s as we head into the weekend, hit and miss storms, up to 97 on Wednesday, and then we start to cool back down a bit as we go into the holiday weekend. But overall, pretty typical for the last third of August.
Derailed Commodity Flooring and Furniture.
Pittsburgh High School class of 2018 graduate Chase Curtis has had a whirlwind of a collegiate athletic career. It began as a baseball player, then he transitioned to football, and entering his 7th and final year of collegiate athletics, Curtis is named captain of a Big 12 football team. TCU Athletics announces this week that Chase Curtis is one of 6 captains for the Horned Frogs football team, chosen by his teammates. Curtis was a first-team All-State selection in football, basketball, and baseball at PHS. He chose to play baseball at Neosho County Community College for 2 seasons before transferring to TCU and walking onto the football team. Curtis played quarterback for the Purple Dragons, but he switched to tight end in college. That comes after putting on more than 50 pounds. Here's a timeline of Curtis's collegiate career. After playing 2 seasons of baseball at Neosho County, he then transfers to TCU, and he spends his first 2 years there as a walk-on. Curtis earned a scholarship and had a breakthrough season in 2022. He played in all 15 of TCU's games while the team made a run to the national championship. In 2023, he became the Horned Frogs' 2nd tight end on their depth chart, played in 8 games and accumulated over 100 receiving yards before a season-ending injury. Back here in the 4 states, Missouri Southern's Deontay Campbell enters the 2024 season as one of the top Division II tight ends in the entire country. And this morning, MSSU tight end Deontay Campbell gets named to the 2025 Senior Bowl watch list, which identifies the best draft prospects at every level of college football. Campbell is one of just 2 tight ends from all of Division II to be added to that watch list, along with 44 others. All of them are from Division I schools. The Senior Bowl takes place in Mobile, Alabama on February 1st. Well, tomorrow night, the 2-time defending Super Bowl champ Kansas City Chiefs play their final preseason game against the Chicago Bears. And the voice of the Chiefs, Mitch Holthus, stops by the KOAM studio today for a one-on-one interview previewing the upcoming season and explains things like why he believes Andy Reid is the most underrated head coach in NFL history.
He's at 26 postseason wins. That's second to Belichick. If Belichick stays stuck in the mud and that 31 number sticks, Andy could pass him up very quickly. There's that. But the fact that he stays proactive and creative. We've got stuff that we haven't run yet. You won't see it till you see it. But I saw it this spring, and I talked to Coach about it because he's experimenting with something that, if it works, every team at every level will run it. The Gorillas may run it. Missouri Southern may run it. Lamar and, Northeast Armor may run it.
Closing things out with Major League Baseball, the Royals shut out the Angels 3-0. Trade deadline pickup Michael Lorenzen gets the win on the mound after 7 shutout innings. He struck out 5. Cardinals win tonight as well after scoring 2 runs in the bottom of the 9th. They force extras. Then Nolan Arenado hits a walk-off grand slam to win it in the 10th. Just a little while ago, you heard Mitch Holtis talk about what we talked about earlier. There's some sort of play, some formation, something that Andy Reid's got up his sleeve that has him very excited.
He always has something up his sleeve.
Yeah.
And how about Mitch throwing a little shout out to Arma and
Yeah.
Lamar and Pitt and Southern? Good for him. We'll be right back.
But during Toyota's national sales event, you can make memories that will.
Well, it definitely looks like we're going to have another great day on your Thursday. We are going to get a few clouds. We could see a sprinkler or two, but overall, it looks pretty good. 85 for a high, the humidity still low. Back to 91 Friday, mid-90s as we head into the weekend. Plus, we're going to be dodging a few hit-and-miss storms, but overall, not extreme heat, and then a little bit hotter as we go into next week.
You can get more information anytime through the KOAM Plus app. Just go to the App Store, download it, absolutely free of charge. A brother and sister from Quapaw, Oklahoma are creating bracelets for a good cause. Sam and Sophia Ray have spent the last few months selling their creations, but instead of saving the money to use on themselves, no, they donated the money to the local DAV. Their first donation, a cool $800. Now the two are using that money that they're making to create care packages for deployed soldiers from Oklahoma.
I didn't expect it at all.
I was very surprised when she said we made 800.
Because I would come home quite often and they'd sell more and more every day.
Right.
And it was a huge surprise. We made a post on Facebook explaining to the community what they were going to do. And they started getting custom orders, a bunch of custom orders.
If you'd like to buy one of the bracelets, you can get one for just $2 at the Route 66 Express in Quapaw, or you can go to our website where you can find out how to reach the family. Nice job, kids. Final sports notes.
Yeah, well, tomorrow we have that preseason finale for the Chiefs. We're not going to see any of the Chiefs starters. We're not going to see any of the starters for the Bears either, so we're going to miss out on the #1 pick, Caleb Williams. But there's guys fighting for roster spots, definitely of note for fans.
This could be the last chance for a lot of guys. Thanks for staying up so late with us. Don't forget the morning show starts at 5 a.m. and let's make it a great tomorrow.
On KOAM TV is sponsored by